You ever think about luck? Like, really think about it? Is it just random, or is it something more? Something you can actually grab hold of, control, or maybe, just maybe, something you can pass from one person to another? Well, we're about to jump into a story that asks that exact question, where one man's unbelievable winning streak is hiding a secret that is absolutely terrifying.
Imagine hearing that. Not a boast, not trash talk, but just a simple, cold statement of fact. This is our introduction to a man named Lucky, and trust me, this one line is the key to everything that's about to unfold. So, let's set the scene. We're in a casino, the kind you see in movies, and at one poker table the air is just electric. You can feel the tension. It all comes down to two men, head-to-head in a final winner-take-all showdown.
And the stakes? Oh, they couldn't be higher. We're talking 20 lakh rupees piled up in the middle of that table. That's enough money to change a life, or completely destroy one. For one of these guys, it's game over. For the other, it's the jackpot. The pressure is just immense.
And you can just see the difference between these two guys. On one side, you've got Gaurav. He's got pure, unadulterated fear in his eyes. And then you look across the table at Lucky, and all you see is this rock-solid, almost unnatural confidence. It's like watching a lion sizing up its next meal. So, the moment of truth. Gaurav finally goes all in and slams his cards on the table. He's got 3 kings, a fantastic hand. You see the relief flood his face. He thinks he's done it. He starts to celebrate. But Lucky, he doesn't even blink. He just calmly turns over his cards. An unbeatable hand. And just like that, with a faint smile, he pulls the entire pot towards him. A little later that night, Gaurav, who is now completely broke and shattered, finds Lucky sitting at the bar. He's lost everything, and he's got this one question just eating him alive. How? How is it possible to be that lucky? It defies logic. He literally begs Lucky to tell him the secret. And Lucky's answer is, well, it's bizarre. He says luck has nothing to do with hard work. He calls hard work a distraction. He's basically saying there's this whole other force out there, something you can tap into to bend reality to your will. Right then, you know we've left the world of card skills and probability far, far behind.
Gaurav is so desperate he offers Lucky everything. All the money he just won and more. He doesn't care about the cash. He wants the power. He wants to be taught this art. But Lucky says it's not that simple. He says it takes one very specific thing. What do you think it is?
Courage. That's the secret ingredient. Not brains, not practice, not money. Just pure, raw courage. The willingness to stare into the face of your absolute worst fear and not look away. See, this isn't a class you can take. It's a trial by fire you have to survive. And Gaurav, completely blinded by his desperation, doesn't even hesitate. He's like, courage? I've got that in spades. Just tell me what to do. He has absolutely no idea what he's just agreed to. He's so ready to do whatever it takes. So Lucky agrees to show him the way, but first he gives him a warning, and it is dead serious. He makes it crystal clear that this is not a game. The price you pay for this kind of power, it's much, much higher than 20 luck. So here's the deal he lays out. The upside, you become so lucky it's almost a superpower. You literally cannot fail. Anything you try, you succeed. The downside, there's a steep, steep price. And here's the kicker. If you get scared, if your courage falters for even a second, you could die. The stakes are, quite literally, your life. But Gaurav, still cocky, says he's in, and the instructions he gets are just as creepy as the warning. They're to meet at the stroke of midnight, and the location? The old, creepy cemetery on the outskirts of the city. Oh, and of course, he has to come alone. So the next night, Gaurav pulls up to the cemetery gates. It's pitch black, dead silent, the whole vibe is just wrong. Lucky slides into his passenger seat and, with no preamble, just gets straight to business, laying out the final, horrifying task Gaurav has to complete. Okay, so this is what he has to do. He has to walk into that cemetery, find the grave of a man who was also coincidentally named Lucky, dig 6 feet down to the coffin, open it, and then hammer a nail straight into the forehead of the corpse inside. It's twisted, and Lucky tells him this is exactly what he had to do to get his power. Right before Gaurav gets out of the car, Lucky hands him this sealed envelope. He says it contains everything he needs to know about this power, but he makes him promise not to open it. Not until the right time. Gaurav asks how he'll know when that is, and Lucky just says, "Oh, you'll know."
The next morning, Gorov wakes up with a start. He's in his own bed, his head is absolutely pounding. He's totally confused for a second, but then this huge wave of relief hits him. He thinks, thank God it was all just a horrible, twisted nightmare.
But then he hears a voice, and it's not coming from the room. It's inside his own head. It whispers, "Hello, Lucky. Now you have become very lucky." The pain in his head explodes, and instinctively he reaches back and his fingers touch something cold, metallic, and sharp, embedded in his own skull. It wasn't a dream.
And in that moment, the horrifying truth becomes clear. This isn't a gift. It's not a secret power. It's a parasite. It's a curse. An entity will give him all the luck in the world, yes, but the price is that it will feed on his blood, draining his life away, day by day. His only escape? To find another poor soul, someone desperate and courageous enough to trick into taking his place.
In a blind panic, he remembers the letter, the envelope Lucky gave him. This has to be the right time. He fumbles in his pocket, pulls it out. His hands are shaking so badly he can barely tear it open, finally ready to read the so-called secrets he was promised.
The note inside is short, and the first line hits him like a physical blow. It's not a set of instructions. It's a thank you card. It says, "Thank you, Gorov, for freeing me from the curse." The man he met, his name wasn't Lucky. He was just the last guy to hold the curse.
And the last line, well, it's a bit of advice and a death sentence all in one. And all the best. Find your next lucky friend before you die. The trap has sprung, the curse has been passed, and Gorov is the new prisoner. Which brings us full circle. Sometime later, we're back in a casino. A man sits at a poker table, radiating that same eerie, unnatural confidence. He's about to bankrupt some poor soul across from him, and he leans forward and says, "Today, no one could defeat me. You know why? Because my name is Lucky." The cycle begins again.
In the end, it's a chilling story about just how far we'll go when we're desperate for a shortcut, for a guarantee. And it really makes you wonder, if someone came to you with that offer, a promise of limitless success, but hinted at a terrible, unknown price, would you take the deal? Would you have the courage to say yes or the wisdom to say no?